Welcome to this edition of The Fix, where every Sunday we hold those in power to account. We tell you what matters, how it affects you, and why you should care. Now, former Safety and Security Minister Dr. Slindelo Masikane explosive testimony at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry has laid bare the state security agency's weaknesses. He revealed how the agency allegedly channeled millions of rands into the pockets of former President Jacob Zuma, and through the use of COVID operations, the agency also helped Zuma fight his personal and political battles under a project called Project Commitment. Dr. Mufamadi now joins me via telephone. Dr. Mufamadi, thank you so very much for joining us. Apologies to our viewers. Our tech doesn't always allow us to see our people that we speak to, and of course we are observing the social distance rules of COVID. You delivered some incredibly powerful testimony at the Zondo Commission of Inquiry that laid bare, for me, probably one of the most fundamental drivers of why our security, services are in the mess that they are. And that's essentially what I like to call the politicization of the security cluster. And this is one of the 5 key findings of your review panel also that you undertook in 2018. What happens when a security service and an intelligence community in a country like South Africa becomes politicized for the political agenda, private political agenda of the president of a country?
Well, when we came into the new political dispensation in the country, we unveiled a new constitution which is expressive of the desire for accountability in government. And that includes in matters of intelligence. So we then had to, as I say, to rethink, or rather to reset our thinking about how this craft of intelligence is to be practiced and the uses to which capability is to be put. Now, how do you achieve accountability? You achieve accountability by setting institutions that will exercise oversight over the work of those who are involved in the craft. And I think our system has got sufficient mechanisms for oversight, ranging from the Parliamentary Multi-Party Committee. The executive itself has to exercise oversight over the agency. The Inspector General also exercises oversight. There is also oversight exercised by the Auditor General on matters to do with finance. So the systems are in place. But I think you will have noticed that the testimony was talking to the manner in which these oversight mechanisms were subverted. And we were trying to understand how that happened. And indeed, what you say is explosive revelations, it's things that were said to us by people who were involved in the activities that are under review, that were under review by the panel, and that are now being probed by the commission.
Now, how many people in the agencies did you speak with when you compiled this report? And what were the kinds of protections that you gave them to speak freely?
Well, you know, I wouldn't offhand be able to say we spoke to an X number of people, but I can tell you we spoke to people from all the provincial structures of the South African, the State Security Agency, rather.
Yeah.
We spoke to people who are part of top senior management of the agency, current and past. Mm-hmm. We spoke to the operatives who were part of the special ops. We spoke to the director of the special ops unit. We were in place for a period of about 6 months, and the report which was released to the public actually tells you how many people we spoke to the last figure. But we also talked to people from outside the State Security Agency, people who work in institutions that are whose work has to be coordinated with that of the State Security Agency. For instance, people in crime intelligence in the SAPS, mm-hmm. people in defense intelligence, the Inspector General, parliamentarians who are in the relevant parliamentary committee. So really I am saying we spoke to a wide range of people who were relevant to our brief. And of course, they were provided, the hearings that we had with them were in camera.
Yeah.
You will remember that there was no point at which we invited the media to our interaction with these people.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I'm asking that is because you've obviously been accused of not hearing everybody and not giving everybody the space, to talk. And of course, in matters of national security and dealing with state secrets, there are laws that need to be taken into account, and that obviously has to be balanced with the public's right to know and the need for transparency. So let's go to the question of, accountability and transparency, because it is one of the 5 issues that you raise in your report as key to why the agencies have collapsed. I'm trying to scroll here on my iPad to it. Talk to us about what the secrecy, just in terms of accounting, allows to happen when there is malintent on the part of those who run the service or from the executive.
I hope I heard the question, but I must just say that in general, it's not that simple to treat everything in a dichotomic context.
Yeah.
Transparent, therefore good,
yeah, and
COVID, therefore bad. It has to be a mixed bag, yes, of both, because the methods by which you conduct the craft, mm-hmm, gather information and so on, necessarily and unavoidably has to be covered.
Yes.
I'm talking about the method. Mm-hmm. But the purposes for which the products are used is to be basically to serve the people. Now, there is a delicate balance about, therefore, secrecy and the need to be accountable.
Yes.
Because, as you can see, you're talking about a craft which is susceptible to being appropriated for for nefarious ends, which is why you've got a layer of institutional mechanisms that have been put in place to ensure that people in the employ of the intelligence agency are subject to requisite scrutiny. But in this case, you can see that the allegation which is being made is that there are a number of things which were done in order to avoid this scrutiny I'm talking about, starting with the issuing of a proclamation by the then President Jacob Zuma, issuance of the proclamation which provides for the possibility for some units to carry out activities without subjecting themselves to the scrutiny I am talking about. I'm saying there are these allegations that are being made, and thankfully the Constitutional Court took the view that the former president needs to be given the opportunity to put forward his own version vis-a-vis these allegations that are being made.
Absolutely. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, we look at the, shift in doctrine that took place under President Jacob Zuma and the devastation caused by that. But also, let's plot the way forward. Don't go anywhere.